The abandoned cart and the abandoned checkout flow, the flows that everybody loves and talks so much about, and the flows that typically generate some of the most revenue for your e-commerce store. This is how I outline them within Klaviyo. What you are currently looking at is a Miro board that outlines both of these automations and how I structure them. You actually have access to this Miro board by clicking the link in the description to this video. Now, how do I structure these things? Quick explanation of the board itself. As you can see here, we have the triggers, the email, the conditional splits, and the profile property updates. I actually have these two next to each other because I like to build them in conjunction with one another, as they are so similar, but they actually talk to people at different stages in the customer lifecycle. The abandoned cart, this flow right here, comes before the abandoned checkout, right? The abandoned cart is a demonstration of lower buyer intent than the abandoned checkout, which is why I like to have them next to each other. And you're going to notice the structure is very, very similar with these two. Now, you have access to this board, so feel free to go along in your own time with this as well. Since these boards are so similar, I do recommend maintaining the structure and just adjusting the wording slightly. You can adjust the offers that you have within these emails should you wish as well. Straight off the bat, abandoned cart. This is triggered off of somebody adding an item to their cart and being subscribed to email marketing. Make sure they are subscribed to email marketing to send them this automation. To add the added to cart metric to your store, follow this guide right here because it is not installed on default by integrating Klaviyo and Shopify. You need to do a bit of extra work for it. Filters, started checkout and placed orders 0 times since starting this flow. You want to make sure the abandoned cart flow does not overlap with your abandoned checkout flow. And this filter, started checkout 0 times since starting this flow, prevents that from happening. And also, if they place an order, you obviously do not want to talk to them in that sequence. Conditional split, number 1. Once again, I go into a lot more depth in the written format in these blocks here. Conditional split, place an order 0 times, overall time. You want to split people off based off of their order history in these abandonment series. So if they've placed an order at least once, you send them down the no path. If they've placed an order 0 times, you send them down the yes path. Straight off the bat, we have a 50-50 split. 15-minute and a 30-minute time delay. We are going to test the effectiveness of a 15-minute versus a 30-minute time delay. We can't A/B test time delays in flows in Klaviyo without doing it this way. In email 1A, you're simply reminding the reader of the item they left behind and then offering them a discount to make towards that purchase. Some people will say, Gavin, you're offering the discount too early in the abandoned cart process. Like you should just remind them first and then give them the discount. But don't forget, we're offering people a discount to sign up to our newsletter anyway. So why would it matter if we give it to them here if we've already given it to them to join our newsletter, if you're actually running an incentive, which you probably should be. I never really understood that logic. Also, priority number 1 should be getting product into people's hands. You should be doing everything you can to get that first sale, meaning to make these emails as impactful as possible. If they've never placed an order before, I recommend just offering the discount straight off the bat. You've already offered it in the welcome series and at the sign up form stage, so why not do it here when someone's demonstrating even higher buyer intent than joining the newsletter? And you should have also factored in the discount that you're offering here into your margins anyway. You should be able to survive at a 10% discount anyway, if that's what your discount is, right? So offer that discount in email 1 after that 15 or 30 minute delay. Some email marketers are probably going to say I'm an idiot for that. You're wrong. Other side, if they have placed an order before, we're just going to give them a generic reminder here, identical to email 1A, but without the discount code. There's no point in encouraging discount code abuse if they've already placed an order, right? We just want them to be reminded of their item and not forever be shopping at a discount, right? One of the cardinal sins I see is people have an abandoned cart flow and they're not splitting people off based on their purchasing behavior. Also, one general rule of thumb that I operate by with these time delays is the more expensive the item, the longer the delay should be. I've seen items that are like, $400 to $1,000. Time delays of 2 to 4 hours work better. Lower ticket items, 15 minutes to 30 minutes tends to work better, maybe 45 minutes. Test this though, right? Like, I might be wrong. Every business is different, so test these theories. 1 day delay. This is going to people who still haven't placed an order, but have placed an order more than once over all time. Just simply remind the reader of the item that was left behind. You don't have to get fancy with these emails. Just say, hey, final reminder for your item. We still have it saved. 1 day delay. This side of the flow is going to people who have placed an order, who have never placed an order before. These splits are going to split people off based off of the collection of the item that they've added to their cart. This is us getting specific with email marketing. We're going to have these trigger splits, splitting people off based off of the item that they added to their cart, and then we're going to start speaking to the specific benefits of the collection or the item that they've left behind. This is us getting personalized with email. It's not just using a first name tag. It's getting personalized with email marketing. And we're reminding the reader of the item that they left behind, right? Here, speaking specifically to the benefits of the collection that they left behind. So we're talking specifically to the item they left behind. That's going to increase conversion rates, and we're going to know what item that is because these trigger splits are splitting people up accordingly. Also, we're going to reiterate the discount code that we have, right? Reiterate that discount code. If someone goes down the no path consistently, it means they haven't matched any of these conditional splits or trigger splits rather, meaning we'll just have a more generic email speaking not specifically to a collection, but just to like the store's values, generic USPs that we have, anything like that. 1 day delay. At this point, there's a very low likelihood that the subscriber is going to purchase from you, as they've already indicated in 2 previous stages after this 1 day delay that they are not interested in buying and that they're not ready to purchase. There are a bunch of potential reasons for this, right? But ultimately, it comes down to either timing or value. And I think actually it's more about value, right? Like if the value was there, if there was enough value, timing really wouldn't matter, right? In this case, the reader does not see enough value in your item to make that first purchase. So how do you tilt that value equation? There are a bunch of ways that you can do it, but one of the easiest is just by increasing the discount that you offer, right? So feel free to bump up the discount code to get that initial purchase. And even if you're just breaking even on this first purchase, you would hope, if your product is good, that you would make it back up on the back end to the repeat order process, right? So that's email 1C. That's the abandoned cart flow. The abandoned checkout flow is pretty much identical with new wording, right? And different potential results for these split tests. So the emails are going to have the same logic, different copy, because you want them to be different imagery, but the structure is going to be identical. And you can even play around a little bit with discounts. Like you may want to increase the discount in the abandoned checkout process compared to the abandoned cart, or invert that. Increase the discount for the abandoned cart compared to the abandoned checkout, because people have demonstrated varying degrees of buyer intent. But these flows are almost identical. Just make sure they're reworded and have different creative to make sure they look different enough. But the way that I've outlined the structure here, you should have enough variance between like the designs, but the structure should be the same, and there should also be no crossover between these flows. The filters here prevent any crossover between them, so people aren't going to be receiving 2 sequences at once. Cool, so that is the flow. Guys, hope you found that useful. Now, you'll notice in this board that I gave you, there is a link to a Stripe gateway. And in this Stripe gateway, for $7, you can have every single automation that I outline for my clients with explanations and all that good stuff right in here. It goes all the way from the welcome series to the Google review flow to a site abandon flow, which is something so many people seem to miss out on, to a sunset flow with in-depth explanations as to how you need to do everything. Everyone who's bought it has had a bunch of value. If you don't like it, if you don't find value in it, I'll give you a refund as well. $7 is all I ask. You're going to get access to every single automation I've ever built, and you're going to get access to every single software I recommend that you use in your email marketing journey. Guys, I hope you found this video useful. Any questions? Let me know.